everybody. Today is Tuesday, July 2nd. How's everybody doing? How's your week going so far? How's life in general? I hope everybody's doing well. I may not look it. I am pretty tired. They said the second trimester was supposed to be the easiest trimester. I'd like to contact whoever spat that lie because I'm still tired. I mean, I don't know. I'm pretty tired. So let's get into it, everyone. Let's get into this video and let's have a good time. It has been a pretty chaotic last few weeks. It's been a few weeks since I've been here. It's been crazy. I have recorded 3 videos for you guys, and as you guys can probably tell, there's not been any videos. I'm still finding that difficulty in recording the videos and then being able to upload them to my computer, edit them and post them while dealing with everything else. So it's not ideal. I'm definitely not pleased, but it is the situation that I have found myself in. I would love to be able to promise you guys that I will post more consistently and it'll be going more smoothly. I just don't want to make that promise again, knowing that I haven't been able to keep it since making that promise. I didn't expect it to be this hard with the pregnancy. I thought it would be pretty easy, but that's just not the case. I want nothing more than to be more consistent and make sure that everything is being done properly and at the times I want them to and more frequently and whatnot. But between my health issues and the pregnancy and my son becoming more of a daredevil every single day, I am finding myself losing track of time, losing my mind, and just being unable to do the things I would like to do. At this point, all I can say is I just want to post more. I am hoping that it'll get better soon and that things will just kind of get back on track for me. But we shall see, guys. I promise I'm not forgetting you guys. I'm not slacking. I'm not trying to avoid being on here. I just haven't been able to finish the tasks at hand to get them uploaded. So let's just jump into it. Let's talk about what I've been up to the last few weeks. My chaos, which has really just been running around with errands, doctors, and suffering. This is my chaos, but you know, we'll get into it. The last time I had spoken to you guys, I had mentioned that we found out the gender of my baby, that we went to a Greek festival, that my friend got married, and that's kind of where I left it at. The following week, I had an appointment with my OB, I had an appointment with my spine doctor, and I got a pretty surprising call from my cardiologist, a very unexpected call, actually. But yeah, I will kind of go over all of that, and then I'll kind of continue into the weeks. So we'll start with the phone call. My cardiologist called not long after I actually posted my last video. I don't know if you guys remember, I had mentioned a little over 3 months ago, maybe closer to 4 months now, that I had done a Holter monitor test. I was very early in my pregnancy, barely pregnant by this point, hadn't even seen an OB yet when I had got this test done. I had told them that there was a chance that I was pregnant, just for the sole reason of they wanted to put me back on a medication that I used to take for low blood pressure, and they had to ask if I was pregnant, which that's when that conversation came up. Regardless of that, I had mentioned to them that despite the surgery, I was still feeling the PVCs and I still felt like my heart was skipping beats and that I just couldn't keep up with my heart. They had done an echo on me and it showed that I still had PVCs, and the doctor said it's normal, you'll still get them. If it's not as much, then that's fine. But nobody ever did another Holter monitor, and that would have really been the thing to determine how many PVCs I was having. So since then, and I've been complaining about those PVCs for a year now. I've had the surgery a little over a year ago. When I saw the doctor 3 to 4 months ago, we had discussed the possibility that I had dysautonomia. That's when we decided to do the Holter monitor. So 2 weeks after the test, when they called and they said, go see a neurologist for the dysautonomia, I figured that if that's all you're going to tell me, the Holter monitor didn't show anything, and the next step would be a neurologist. In a way, I blame myself for not asking about the monitor, but in the past, they only really called if there was something wrong. I never got like a call saying, hey, everything was fine. So I just assumed. I do really love this cardiologist. He's done amazing things for me. He really cares. So I don't know what went wrong here. I don't know if it was on the cardiologist's end or the electrophysiologist's end, which is the specialist that did my heart surgery. I don't know if they had the results and never called, or they didn't get the results. I don't know where it went wrong, and I don't want to play the blame game, but I am disappointed in the both of them still, because somewhere something went wrong, and in a way it could have been on both ends, and I just feel like it could have been handled better and it could have been addressed a lot sooner. But they called me, like I said, that day after I posted, we're talking about 3 months later, to tell me that I needed to see my electrophysiologist again immediately. I was supposed to keep seeing him every 6 months, and I was keeping up with that, but he doesn't take my new insurance. So he said I could keep up with my cardiologist unless something happens, and then we can kind of figure it out from there. Now, the last time I saw him was 3 months before I had that Holter monitor done with my cardiologist. So I didn't even hit the 6-month mark. And they did the Holter monitor and found out that it was worse. My PVCs were worse. So I called the electrophysiologist, who was the one that told them to call me to schedule an appointment. And I said, hey, can you just like tell me how bad is it, this and that? And the receptionist said, that's not like something I can legally do. I'll have the doctor call you. Okay. Doctor never called me to this day, never called me. I ended up calling the cardiologist like not even a week later. It might have been a week, actually. My brain's a little foggy on dates, but sorry. I ended up calling them and I asked them to send me the report so I can give it to the OB, and they sent it to me that instant. And I had that, and I was informed that it was happening every 3rd to 4th heartbeat. I would have a PVC. So yeah, it's stressful. My cardiologist, like I said, they told me I can't have any treatment done. I can't take the medication while I'm pregnant, and I can't have the surgery. And more likely than not, I would end up just having the surgery again, because like my electrophysiologist, they said that I'm too young to be put on that kind of medication for the rest of my life, and it doesn't treat the issue. It just kind of, I don't want to say it masks it, it just helps the symptoms type of thing. It's not going to go away that way. I'm okay with doing another surgery, just because trying to take meds twice a day, every day for the rest of my life, I'm bound to mess up, and I don't want to mess up something that will ruin my heart. And the problem is that even if I take the meds, the one doctor told me I could still end up needing the surgery. So just do the stupid surgery. I don't want to have heart failure in my 30s or 40s, you know what I mean? And this does definitely weaken the heart, which is why we did the surgery in the first place. It's just, it's a whole bunch of insanity, honestly, guys. I ended up calling my OB immediately after that phone call and telling them what happened. And one of the like nurse practitioners called back and was talking to me and like kind of relaying messages from the OB and to me type of thing. And she was really frustrated and aggravated, because she's like, why would they wait 3 months? Like, I kind of got her aggravation. At the time, I wasn't aggravated. I was just really stressed and crying. But, after I settled down, like, I really was aggravated. You guys really, like, dropped the ball on this. The OB did say it wasn't dangerous for the baby. The baby would be absolutely fine. The issue kind of comes into question of, like, delivery and, like, my health. The PVCs are making my heart work harder. The pregnancy makes your heart work harder. So it's like, I'm kind of putting more of a strain on my body right now and on my heart. But their biggest thing is just like the delivery. I honestly ended up crying the entire day because of that news. It's just, I felt like it was a big bomb dropped on me, and I'm dealing with so much already. I really didn't want to have to deal with another thing. I'm learning to cope. I think I'm learning to cope. Maybe I'm avoiding. I'm not sure, to be honest, because I've come to terms that I'm dealing with this. I'm just trying not to think too much about it. But that was that with that phone call. My first appointment that week was with my spine doctor. We did the EMG that day. So it wasn't like talking about any situations I had. It wasn't anything like that. It was just, let's do the test and let's get on with it. Not too bad, not too painful, definitely uncomfortable. My foot was shaking a lot for some reason. Something flew outside my window. When he put the needle in at one point, my leg like cramped and it started like pulling up. So that was kind of actually funny. It hurt. I was sore, but it was kind of funny. That was the only thing we did for that appointment. I ended up seeing him recently to discuss the results of that, but that was it for that appointment. My OB appointment was later in the week. It was pretty standard, like a routine appointment. Nothing crazy. I got to hear her heartbeat. This is the first time we were able to do it on the Doppler and not with an ultrasound because she moves so much. So I was pretty excited about that. She's still moving around like crazy. They actually could hear her kicking before they could hear her heartbeat. Like, they just kept hearing her kicking. She never stopped. They couldn't actually get her heartbeat for a while because of how fast she was moving. We also spoke again about my heart condition. They want me to see my cardiologist for a clearance for delivery. So I do have to make that kind of appointment in the coming months. Basically because some cardio issues could make the cardiologist not want a C-section done. The problem with that is that I had a C-section last time and my spine doctor doesn't think I should have natural this time. With all my spine issues, he doesn't want it to get worse. And on top of that, he doesn't think I'll be able to push. And I never thought of that before too much. Like, it kind of crossed my mind, but hearing a professional say it, it makes me wonder, like, can I push? You know what I mean? She doesn't think that this specific heart condition will prevent me from having a C-section, but she wants that clearance. They're not going to make that call. Originally, I wanted to try natural, but I kept kind of going back and forth on it, and I'm still kind of going back and forth on it. I'm leaning more towards just doing a C-section and preventing any issues, but now with all this clearance, it's just another step. I also don't know what happens now because I went through 30 hours of labor before they did a C-section. Do I still get an epidural? Do I have to wait a long time? Do I still get induced and feel contractions in my water break? Or do they just kind of cut me open and call it a day type of thing? Like, there's things that I don't know. I also know this sounds weird, but I would love to watch that C-section. Like, I know they have that clear thing where you can watch the birth. I would love that. So I'm hoping that that's possible and they'll do skin to skin this time. And I'm so sorry that this just sounds so crazy, but I'm into surgeries. Like, I wanted to be a doctor, so watching them is pretty cool. And if I could watch it being done on myself, oh my God, that just sounds so exciting. I'm sorry. At the appointment, they did also take a blood test. This blood test was supposed to check for alpha fetoprotein, which would check for spina bifida. I know in the past I said there was another test that checked for spina bifida, and I think I kind of confused and merged the two tests because apparently this is the test. The other one was for Down syndrome. So I'm just a little silly and I confuse things. I'm sorry. I also told her about my concerns with weight gain during the pregnancy and how I'm afraid of just doing something wrong that could harm my baby. My OB now said that I've only gained 2 pounds in 16 weeks, or 16 weeks by that point. I was almost halfway there, and to only gain 2 pounds, that was really great. She says that the only thing is they don't want me to gain 40 pounds, but 2 pounds is like nothing, so I shouldn't be concerned. She heard all of my questions and like my concerns, and she said that if I keep feeling this anxious, we should consider anxiety medication at my next appointment. I didn't want to admit that I was having more anxiety than I was even talking about, just because I didn't want to go on medication. But luckily, I would have to say that I am a lot better with the anxiety now, so I'm pretty sure I'll be okay. A few weeks ago when I had that appointment, I was definitely super anxious. Like, there were days I felt like I couldn't breathe from the level of anxiety I had. I still have stress and anxiety. It's just not nearly as bad. And I have gotten better at not putting myself in the mindset where I'm thinking about things that would cause me to have so much anxiety. I was having fears of my kid's safety, of delivery, of finances, of the future in general. And it was just kind of weighing down on me and just taking a toll. Without getting too deep into it, I had some really bad things happen to me as a child. My mom was the only one who was really there to support me through it and help me through that time. Most of my family that I thought was there, I found out more recently in life that that was all basically a lie. And that has been kind of hard for me. Like, it's like reopening old wounds that never actually closed to begin with, but that's not even important. Like, I don't even care. To each their own, I guess. But the reason I bring this up is just going through what I went through has kind of made me more anxious in general about that for like the future of my kid's safety. I have always been in that position where like nobody's really allowed to babysit or watch my kid alone. My mom is the only person who's ever had my child alone. And that's not intentional in a way because my mom, she's right here. It's convenient, you know, I wouldn't go anywhere else. My mom's right here. And also, I'm staying at home all the time. So unless there's an emergency or a doctor's appointment that he can't be at, or he's sick, like, he will always be with me. So I just never really found a reason to need one regardless, but I've always been against it for the most part. I'm sure that there are probably some scenarios or some people that I would trust my children with, but it's a lot bigger of an issue than trust, because at the end of the day, you still never know. So that's kind of where I'm at. But like with the pregnancy, see, I was getting to the point where I was afraid of the idea of them going to school. I was afraid of them going to public places. I was afraid of them being around people alone. I was afraid, like, just like such bad anxiety. Like I said, the pregnancy, it was just really bad. And on top of that, on top of the kids' safety part, I was stressed every second. Like every day I was weighing myself to make sure I didn't gain too much with her. I didn't want to get too big. I didn't want to do any bad harm to her. I didn't want to get gestational diabetes or preeclampsia or any other issues I could get from maybe eating too much or whatever the case may be. I just wanted to avoid everything. So I started like obsessively weighing myself. I haven't done that for years. So that got really bad. That is only a fraction of the anxiety I was dealing with. Those were like maybe my bigger things that I was dealing with, but like a fraction of it. I can't even go into how much depth I was going through with it and exactly where my mind was going. Like I said, I'm definitely still anxious. I'm a pretty anxious person as it is about certain things, not everything. Sometimes I am more on the chill side about a lot of things, but certain big things do definitely bring out some anxiety in me. And but like I said, it's a lot better now. Because most days I'm in too much pain to do much, I craft, I stitch, I do something to kind of keep my hands busy, and it just relaxes me, and the anxiety has gotten so much better because of it. So I basically weigh myself maybe twice a week, maybe once a week, kind of that type of thing. And I am okay with my kids going to school and going out. I'm not going to be that kind of parent. I never was going to be that. It was just anxiety type of thing. But yeah, so there's definitely things that may take some time for me to not to be anxious about. But overall, I would say I'm definitely a lot better, a lot more calm, maybe anxious once in a while. I think my biggest anxiety now that like plagues me, and it's not really anxiety, I'm just a little overwhelmed about the amount of things I have to do before the baby comes and hoping that I can get it done. And it's more anxiety in the sense of I'm always in pain, so I'm very limited on what I can do, and that's messing with me. But that's like the worst of it right now. Everything else is pretty tame for the most part. I did do the blood work, like I said, while I was in the office. The results came back in about 2 or 3 days. The results came back negative, no spina bifida, which is great news. I'm very happy. The rest of that week was pretty calm. We did go out to dinner for Father's Day. The week of the 17th was pretty okay. No doctor's appointments, which was nice. I like having at least a week off before having to go back. But my mom and I basically were just trying to get errands done and do some cleaning and get things done. On the 21st, my mom had the day off. So we met one of our friends and we went down the shore. It was a really nice day. It was a little windy towards like later in the day, but overall really nice. It was hot in the morning, like super hot in the morning. And I had this tent for the baby. The tents are supposed to be 3 foot by 3 foot. I think mine was like 3 by 4. So it was a little bigger. Normally I haven't had any issues. Like last year I didn't have any issues. But this time I guess I just had bad luck. Our friend brought an umbrella. Per regulations, they can't be a big umbrella, so it's just one smaller umbrella, you know, good size, but it couldn't hold all 4 of us under it and keep us all shaded, you know what I mean? So officer comes in and explains that we have to take the tent down, and I explained, hey, it's for my baby, I'm pregnant, I have a heart condition, if I'm too hot I will pass out. And he just kind of laughed it off and said, stay under, like, you guys can all fit under the umbrella. And I was a little aggravated with how he handled it, but at the same time, I just didn't want to fight with anybody. But later on in the day, somebody else had the same size tent up, and another cop was coming with another guy, like it was a team. And they were going to tell them they weren't at the tent, so they couldn't say anything. But we started talking to them, and I explained, like, the situation. They said they should have never told you to take it down. Like, you have a heart condition. We don't want you passing out. So if you want to put it back up, you can. And I was like, I am way too hot and way too tired to be standing in the sun to put it back up. But I do appreciate that, and I'll know for next time. Other than that, though, like I said, the beach was really nice, really fun. That same weekend was my cousin's daughter's birthday party, which I really liked. I enjoyed spending time with them. And there were a lot of kids my son's age, which is nice because we're not really around kids that much. But yeah, spending time with family was kind of my favorite part of it. Everything else was just a bonus. It was really nice, and I hope to see them again soon. So let's get into last week. We're catching up, guys. Last week, I saw my spine doctor and I saw my neurologist. I also got to go to an amazing wedding over the weekend. So we'll start with my spine doctor because I saw him first. We just went over the results of the EMG. The EMG showed no issues, which is great. He said what he was looking for, he really hoped he wouldn't find. So that's awesome. Obviously, we know we have arthritis, the degenerative disc disease, and the fibromyalgia. He does think that all of the pain and the chronic pain I'm feeling is just really coming from those issues, which sucks because you can't cure those issues. You can treat them, but it's not foolproof, you know. The medication to take for fibromyalgia, I can't take it while I'm pregnant or breastfeeding. It also made me gain 100 pounds in 6 months when I first started taking them, which is why I struggle now to lose weight, because that was kind of where I stopped eating so much. And it's been a habit. Like, I just don't eat enough so I don't lose weight, and I gained all the weight from the medication. So it's a cycle. It was just a bad situation. So that's kind of rough. And the degenerative disc disease, it just gets worse. He even said my degeneration is premature. He usually sees this in like 40-year-olds and up. He did say that my pregnancy does handicap any treatment or testing we can do. Regardless, there's not really much treatment you can do either. Like, it's just like temporary treatment in a way. It's not gonna stop. It's not gonna get better. It's just there. I showed the results of both my lower extremity EMG and my upper extremity EMG to my neurologist. He also said they look normal. I wasn't going to him to confirm that what my other doctor said was right. He was looking for the dysautonomia, so he was looking for different things. But I showed it to him. He said, no, it looks normal. And I said, does that mean I don't have dysautonomia? And he said, no, we were ruling out other things. He did say that when the baby is born, we already made the appointment and everything, but when the baby is born, I'm going to go see him and we're going to start all the testing. And there seems to be a lot of testing that'll need to be done. But the sooner I can get it done, the sooner I can get answers. And that's that. Granted, my mom and I were like, oh my God, but if all this is dysautonomia and we can treat the dysautonomia and cure it, then everything else will go away. There's also no cure for dysautonomia. At this point, whatever it is, I would have to treat the symptoms with medication. And that's that, which I will cross that bridge when I come to it. Other than that, we went to New York City for a wedding that weekend. I don't think I've ever seen a more beautiful wedding. From the ceremony to the reception, I was just in awe. The church was gorgeous, and it was just, I mean, it was beautiful. It was such a nice, relaxing, calming environment, and the ceremony, like I said, was just beautiful. The couple was absolutely stunning, and it was just something that I was really grateful to be a part of and to witness. The party was also so much fun, and we enjoyed spending time with the people at our table, and I loved watching the dancing. I hated that I couldn't dance, being with the baby, being pregnant, having pain walking, you know, that kind of thing. So that made that difficult. But for me to not dance and to still enjoy it and not be bored, like, that means a lot, because I tend to love dancing and want to dance, and that's like what makes something even more fun for me. But this was still really enjoyable and really fun. Like I said, I enjoyed every moment of it. We ended up getting home late, so it was kind of fun. We kind of partied all night, but it was fun. It was definitely really fun. I enjoyed it. But yeah, that's basically it. We're caught up now. Other than that, just like a pregnancy update. I will try to keep this as short and sweet as possible, because I'm sure this video is going to be longer than I would like it to be. I am currently 18 weeks pregnant. I'm basically 19 weeks by this point, but we'll just keep it at the 18 weeks for now. The baby's the size of a cucumber. I had mentioned a few weeks back that I could kind of see my stomach twitching, and like it could have been like kicks and stuff, and how I was feeling like butterflies in my stomach kind of thing. Well, it has escalated since then. Last week, I had started to actually feel the kicks, like just like a kick to my stomach. You can't see it yet. She's still small, so you can't see my stomach like moving like crazy. And I don't see the twitching anymore, but I do feel the kicks. She likes to remind you that she's there. No more of the little butterflies in my stomach kind of thing. Like, it's just kicks now. It's an exciting moment for me. I love feeling baby kicks. It's cute because my son's starting to rub my belly too, and he goes, "Tummy," and then he'll say her nickname. It's so freaking wholesome. Like, he is so cute. He is making it an even cuter experience. Sometimes he's making it a little difficult, by the way. Just saying that, but he definitely does make it cute, especially lately. He's been more affectionate. As far as any other symptoms I'm having, I'm still suffering from morning sickness. It's not nearly as bad, but like, I could go a week without being sick, and then I'll go 3 days in a row. So it sucks that it still exists, but I try not to complain about it too much. You know, it's there. I'm just hoping it goes away soon. I'm still really exhausted and overwhelmed by everything. The exhaustion is kind of getting a little bit better each week, but there are still days where like I feel like a zombie. My biggest issues right now are heartburn, my severe back pain being made worse by the lightning crotch I am now feeling. So like I'm limping and then my back hurts more. So those are what's killing me. Overall, I'm okay. I'm just a little anxious, just like I said before, about just trying to get everything done. I'm also lately going back and forth on the idea of having a baby shower. A part of me wants a baby shower, but I'm just too tired to plan a baby shower. So we'll see how that goes. It's still up in the air, but we'll see. I know Prime Day is coming up soon. So I'm planning to look for baby stuff on sale and see what I can get. That I'm excited for. Plus, I can also look for some stuff. I have to also get some things that my son needs now since he's getting bigger, and also his birthday is not too far away, so I can look for some birthday gifts. This week, I don't have any doctor's appointments. I basically just plan to get as much cleaning as I can done. When I'm too tired or in pain, I'll do some cross stitching or whatever type of craft I want to do at that point. Other than that, I think I'm having a pretty calm week. So with that said, this is probably a very long video, so I will leave it here. I hope to be back on here soon and see you guys soon. I can't wait to keep you guys updated. And again, like I said, I'm keeping my fingers crossed that things will kind of right themselves and I can be a little bit more consistent and have the energy to do so. If you guys like the video, hit the like button, comment if you have anything to say, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell to be informed every time I post a new video. I appreciate you guys all so much, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.